Building conditions for failing well. Welcome back. In the first video exploring the themes from Right Kind of Wrong by Edmondson, we looked at what failure is and the three kinds of failure. But let's talk about how to create conditions for intelligent failures, the ones that we want to have so we can learn from, and how teams and individuals can actually learn from mistakes and prevent the wrong kinds of failure occurring in future. Psychological safety and speaking up is absolutely key, and it's one of Edmondson's central themes for her research over the years. And that is, for a failure to be a learning opportunity, we need the psychological safety, a belief among team members that the environment is safe for interpersonal risk-taking, speaking up, admitting mistakes and asking questions. If you don't have psychological safety, you're unlikely to learn from failures. Because if there's a blame culture, people are afraid of shame and they keep errors hidden, then learning really stalls and risk builds up. Psychological safety is not about being nice or comfortable. It's about candid feedback, openly admitting mistakes and learning from each other. So if you're a leader, here's a little tip. Frame the work people do so they know it is about learning, not punishment. That sets the tone, and it's particularly important if you're chairing significant event analyses. When we're having smart experimentation, it's hypothesis driven. As I said, think like a scientist, because when you're stepping into new territory, the failures that you take should be deliberate experiments. So set a hypothesis. If I do this, then this might happen. If I do X, Y may happen. Then make the risk small. You don't want to remortgage your house over a potentially intelligent failure. That wouldn't be intelligent for you. Minimize the costs and minimize the downsides. And equally, you don't want to spend all your time on something. You want to have an intelligent failure, testing the hypothesis. And also then, be willing to shut it down quickly if it fails. And that's something that we as humans often don't do, because we think, oh, it must be right, I'll try again, and maybe the experiment will work on that occasion. No. If you can have a series of deliberate trial and learn experiments, that will allow you to think, what didn't work about that? What will we do differently next time? Because an intelligent failure is hypothesis driven. It's the smallest possible minimal risk. It could be like an experiment behind closed doors. Then you have to shut that door if it doesn't work and move on. System thinking and attention to context is absolutely key. It's another major point. Don't treat your task in isolation. You must think about how your work that you're doing affects others down the chain. And this is in essence system awareness. And also, if you're very familiar with a task, it sometimes can create complacency. And that's when you then have a routine risk ongoing. If, say, you're used to using a chainsaw all the time, you're less likely to think, this is a really dangerous instrument that I could cut my hand off with. So then you may have this unintentional risk. Another example is if you built a mega shipping port. For you, this may be efficient, but the unintended consequences could emerge in terms of system awareness. There may be labor shortages. It could be that there's a supply chain delay. And if things go wrong, you may then think, oh, it's because the mega shipping port was too big and there were all these issues. So when you're implementing a change or thinking about that, you should think also who or what else will be potentially affected by this action and what might happen in the future. So attempt to widen your horizon beyond just the here and now. And that's where mindset is crucial. Reframe failures and embrace curiosity. We need to differentiate mistakes. These are these unintended deviations from standards, and failures in which the outcome that deviates from the desired result, and violations. These are what you'd often hear as bad actors. These are deliberate harmful actions that people may occur. Recognize loss aversion as well, and failure aversion. We tend to dwell on negative outcomes and avoid admitting mistakes and sometimes even repress them. Athletes are an interesting example in relation to happiness. Who is happier, a bronze medalist or a silver medalist? Well, it's all about how they frame the outcome in their mind. And surprisingly, it's the bronze medalist, because they're thinking, great, I got a medal. Whereas the silver medalist may think, if I just did that little bit more, the gold would have been mine. So it's how you feel about it. But in honesty, if you get a bronze or silver, you're not really a failure there. So move from playing not to lose to actually think, how can I play to win? The former fosters mediocrity, and that's how you would say that. And sometimes when I'm playing tennis, a rally's going and you're thinking, well, you just keep the rally going, don't miss. Instead of thinking, I'm going to smash this down that line and win the point. And that is about risk and progress. So it's worth having a little think to yourself after a failure. What did I learn? Not what's wrong with me. Hope you found that helpful. In the next video, we're going to explore tools and questions that you can personally use to implement failing well, and as well as how to respond when things go wrong and how to build a great team culture. See you there, and also feel free to subscribe to join this great YouTube team.